So the Y2 Foundation has as its aim to change education in Taiwan, to allow students to have more choice in what they have than what they have at present, and to make education more interesting and more fulfilling, particularly for adolescents, but for children in general. And our team at Y2MAC is myself, 3 other teachers, Fangan, Susan and Fangro, and in the office, Amy and Freya, and we've got some house parents as well, Charlie and Navi in one house, and Rhonda, who's not joined us quite yet. The way we work at Y2MAC is we've created a plan of study and work where we've looked at what we need to do to meet our needs and what the students need to do to be prepared for their next stage of life, and combined it into a curriculum. And Montessori calls it the plan of study and work. And for her, there are 3 parts to it. There is self-expression, there is psychic development, and there is preparation for adult life. Self-expression is first for Montessori. And part of the reason for that is because so much is going on in a child's brain and in a child's body that if they can't deal with that in some way, then they can't set their mind to learning something new. So self-expression is a way of having them get to know their new selves, get to know this changing body, this changing mind, these changing thoughts, and be able to express it in a way that others can see, but in a way that makes sense to them. So Montessori suggests that we have poetry, that we have music, that we have art, sculpting, all kinds of ways of expressing who you are to other people. And we include in that physical expression as well. So using your body to perform things for you. So it could be dance, it could be drama, it could be sport, or some kind of physical activity. So self-expression is something that's really important in a Montessori environment in the curriculum, and actually we devote a day to it. So in the morning we have physical expression for a good few hours, and then in the afternoon we have creative expression. So we change what we offer to the students. They have different things available each term. One term it might be music and art, another term it might be dance and drama, another term it might be working with clay and photography. PE might be Tai Chi, it might be soccer or basketball, it might be kickball or dodgeball, it might be tennis, badminton, it could be riding bikes, it could be hiking, a number of things. So self-expression is a really important part of the program, and while we have a day devoted to it, it's not the only time we do it. The benefits of a residential program is that we have time after school and after dinner that they can do more physical expression. So they'll often go and play basketball, go and play badminton, ride their bikes. And we bring creative expression into all of the work we do as well. It's not just writing notes in a book. It's how you can present your work beautifully, how you can bring poetry or song into your presentations. Psychic development is the development of your ability to think things through. And for Montessori, it's really important because it's how we participate in society. For Montessori, the subjects or the areas that she puts into psychic development are moral development, maths, language, formal language, and world languages. And so moral development, we talked about that briefly already, that this is a time for figuring out how the world should be, and exchanging ideas, trying to live harmoniously with people who think differently than you, or who have different experiences, or who do things in a different way, without judging that, without saying my way is the only way. So coming to grips with actually there are many ways. And so we do that through having seminars where we talk through ideas, through having community meetings where we resolve issues that are of concern, or if we want to change something that's happening, we discuss it at a community meeting. The students and the teachers all talk together about possibilities. And so we gradually come to know that just because it's the way I've done it at my home or the way I've done it wherever I've been is not necessarily the way other people do it or necessarily the right way. It's just a way. So maths and language is needed because they are languages. They are how we communicate with other people, and society is all about being with other people. So language is very obvious. You know, we talk, we communicate. We need to be able to have a good vocabulary to express our ideas. We need to be able to use it in a written form, in an oral form, and we need to be able to read. And for maths, it's also a language, the language of maths, and we need to be able to use that. We need to be able to use it to think logically, to think, to follow paths through to a conclusion, and to sort through issues that come up. It's a set of formulas that people follow through to get answers, but it's also a way of thinking and a way of communicating. So using all of those together in Montessori's terms is how you develop your psychic self. And then there is the preparation for adult life. It's history, it's science, it's technology, any other subject you can think of, economics, business studies. All of it belongs in the preparation for adult life. And these are the things that people really need to know in order to engage in society. And it's not so much as knowing facts, especially in this day and age when we can just Google anything we want to know. So it's not in knowing facts, it's in knowing how things work together. What is the history of humanity that got us to where we are today? If we keep doing those things, what is going to happen tomorrow? What are the possibilities for tomorrow? How can we change that? How can we learn from things that went on earlier? Looking at where people have come, what inventions have happened, what ingenuity has had to happen, can give a real sense of awe and wonder and gratitude for everything that's gone before us. And you can easily look at history from a negative point of view and go, oh my God, oh my goodness, there is so much we've got wrong. But for Montessori, history shows the incredible inventiveness of humanity and of their ability to make their lives better through the ingenuity. And she really wants children and adolescents to see that and to be grateful, not in a thank you way, but just in a, wow, such a lot has happened, and we can do this now because this happened. And if this hadn't happened, where would we be? Now, what are the decisions we're going to make now so that in the future, you know, our actions can be seen as contributing to something great? The study of history in Montessori is really important. And then the study of science, of biology, of botany, of chemistry and physics, of technology, of geography, of what people have done, the inventions that they've created, the way that they have changed the earth, and the way that we know the earth and our resources on it is really important as well. Today, we tend to live separate from where our resources come from. But everything has come from the land. Everything we have has in some way or another come from the land. And knowing that is really important, especially in this day when the land is under threat. The climate is changing. Knowing what we owe the land and how we should care for it so that it is there for future generations is really important. And so preparation for adult life, when we look at the ways that the land is used and the way we can use the land and everything that comes from it as a result, it becomes really important as well. So we take these three areas and we put them into a timetable. And you can see from our timetable here that that it looks very different than maybe what you're used to. It's not broken into little packets of time where students move from class to class to class. Instead, we have long, uninterrupted blocks of time where students really have a chance to get into their work. There might be a lesson in that time, 1 or maybe 2, and there's time for the students to go on with that work, to take it to where they need to do related work, to do independent work, and to plan what happens for themselves. They can do that work on their own, or they can do it with peers. That's up to them. We start the day with work. We start the day with work either on the farm or in our business. And students choose which one they want to do, and they spend the first hour either weeding the garden, or making raised beds, or whatever needs to be done in the garden, harvesting maybe, or filling orders in our business, maybe changing things, designing packaging, all the kinds of things that you need to do for a business. So they'll spend their first hour there. Then they come back to the classroom and go on with their whatever project that they're working on at the moment. It will either be a history project, a humanities project, or a work project. The histories project is where we look at what's happening in history. For instance, at the beginning of the year, we might look at very early peoples, prehistory. And the next term, we might look at ancient civilizations, where the societies got big. How did they manage that transition? The third term, we might look at turbulence in society. What happens to change it? And then the fourth term, we would look at future issues. What are the current issues now, and where is that going to take us? And then we also, our study projects are things like, if we want to bring chickens into our farm, we need to build a chicken coop. So we'll learn all the maths and all the mechanics of building a chicken coop, design it, and then build the materials, order the materials, and then build the coop. Or we might be looking at our garden. What kind of plants do we need? What kind of plants are going to be the most valuable for us in terms of, will they save us money that we can then use for other things? Or can we sell them? Can we grow herbs that we can then use for oil, which would be better for our soap? All of those kind of things. So we get lots of projects from that and learn the science or the technology of that subject through real work, through a real problem that we have that we want to solve. So that's basically our mornings, and our afternoons are spent doing ELA and maths, so English language arts and maths. And again, the students will have lessons in that, small group or individual lessons, and then they'll have time to work on them further on their own. There's a lot of independent work in our timetable. That's where students can come and ask a teacher for explanation or another lesson or practice work. It's also where they can goof off and not do their work. And there's lessons to be learned in that, because the work still needs to be done. And so if they don't get their work done during school time, then they will have to do their work in their after school time, and therefore have less time to relax or play basketball or riding bikes. They will have to stay at school at work or do work in the residence after dinner. So we don't set homework, but often the students will have homework. And as they get older and they've been at the school more and they learn to manage their time and prioritise what they need to do or what they want to do, they have less and less work that needs to be done at home. So that's Monday, Tuesday and Thursday. Wednesday is our creative and physical expression day. Friday is our community day. We do things that are about our community. We have a community meeting. There might be independent work time for them to catch up with work they need to do. There is community work, so work that needs to be done to make our community function, or a service in our wider community that we could perform, and a big cleanup. All of the students who come to Y2MAC are board 5 days a week. Some stay some weekends, but at the moment most go home. What happens on a Friday is, after school's finished, they come back to the residence, they get their things, and we drop them off at the high-speed rail. They get the high-speed rail to the various parts of Taiwan they live in. When they stay the weekend, instead of going home to get the things and leave, they go home and figure out what's the agenda for the weekend. They might be having a barbecue, so they're getting everything that they need to do so that they can cook it together. They might be having an activity, they might be watching a movie after dinner. Whatever it is that they have planned, they're going to get it organised. They can stay up slightly later. Bedtime and during the week time is 10ish, and during the weekend it's 11. And then they sleep in longer too. It's one of the joys, they say, of staying is that they don't have to get up early, and so often they'll sleep until 9 or 10, sometimes even later. And then they get up and have brunch. So they'll help, get up and help make whatever it is that they're going to have, and eat together, clean up, and then off they'll go and do something. They might go for a bike ride around the reservoir. They might go and play basketball. They might go shopping somewhere. A fun thing that they like to do in the evening on Saturday is go to the night market for dinner. So often they'll do that, or they'll do something else. It really depends on who's staying and what they choose to do. The schedule is a lot more relaxed in the weekend, and I think that's what they like.